Revisionist history has deep impacts on how stupid people are in society today. If you completely revise history and people don't know that you revised history and then try to argue a point based on the revised history, they've lost, you've won, end of story. There's much to do about the Confederate flag. Now, white people, and I mean white people, all white people, are all saying, oh, it's the Confederate flag. First of all, you just lost. The stars and bars is not and never was and will never be the Confederate flag. So when you're trying to argue a point, trying to say that's based upon your idea that the stars and bars is the Confederate flag, you've already lost. Arguing for or arguing against the stars and bars, but basing that with the assumption that the stars and bars is the Confederate flag is a complete and utter error. No Confederate state ever adopted the stars and bars as their official state flag. No Confederate outfit ever used the stars and bars as their official flag, save a few minor platoons. The KKK popularized the stars and bars, and before that, no one used it. After the KKK popularized the stars and bars, crafting and sales of stars and bars shot up. No state's rights were ever put forward by any Confederate state as being infringed to lead up to the secession of the Confederacy. All Confederate leaders said the secession of the Confederacy was about slavery. Quote, "The principle upon which this Confederacy is being founded is the principle that the Negro is not equal to the white man. Subordination to the superior race is his just and moral condition." End quote. Confederate leaders openly said that they were trying to preserve, perpetuate, and expand slavery. It was only after the war did the propaganda of the war being about states' rights was put forward as a rational reason for the secession and the Confederacy. That is completely erasing all of the revisionist history, and that's the bald-faced truth. Unvarnished, unpolitically correct. The Civil War was about slavery, and the Confederacy promoted slavery, and legislation that had just been passed for the Western states to come was that they were going to keep slavery as half of the country. They had just passed that into law. And the Supreme Court had said that the northern states had an obligation to track down escaped slaves from the South. And unrevisionist history, unrevised history, the North and South had slavery at the beginning. It wasn't until the indoctrination of industry in the North that they have no use for slavery. And that is why there wasn't slavery in the North. It wasn't this liberal idea of the equality of mankind. They simply had no use for slaves. They had factories, industry. They had absolutely no use. So the stars and bars was never a Confederate flag. The Civil War was about slavery, and the Confederacy seceded based upon the notion of slavery and nothing else. Stop this revisionist history. Go kill yourself. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.